Hello, everyone, and welcome to Answer the Call. Today's topic is your thoughts on the Squadron 42 update from CIG. It was an update. I did a big rant early on in my Twitch stream to kind of get people riled up and have some ideas about what's going on and what they want to talk about. To me, just to give a TLDR, is it did feel like it wasn't a proper apology for things being late. It didn't feel like it was an update that respected the backers and what they're actually looking for an update on Squadron 42. I think they're completely disconnected from their community at this point and don't really know what we're looking for. I think it was a reaction to the hysteria getting outside of the Star Citizen community and getting to the wider community, which is potential income. And I think it was a reaction to that rather than a reaction to the actual Star Citizen community being upset. I think if it was just us being upset, they would have just let us stew until their video was ready. And I think that they probably look at us as a lot of whiners and complainers. And the issue that I take with that is, we're bitching and complaining on this one. But in my opinion, this one's pretty warranted. What do I think the Star Citizen community was upset about? What do I think that they need out of a Squadron 42 update? Well, we just approached quarter 3, 2020. In 2019, Squadron 42, their beta was delayed until quarter 3, 2020. So I think the reason that the pitchforks are coming out and the reason that the community is getting riled up about Squadron 42 and its lack of updates is the expectation is to be in beta by the end of this quarter. So I think that's September 2020. I think the community just wants to know, where does Squadron 42 stand? And the update that they were going to give us was an update on things that they're working on inside Squadron 42. That's not what we want. The community wants to know, where does it stand? How close is it from beta? How far is it from beta? Is it delayed again? Just talk to us. That's my perspective. That's my point of view. If this is your first Answer the Call, the reason for this podcast, and that's what it is, it's a podcast, is to allow for members of the community that may not be streamers, YouTubers, and other forms of content creator to come on the show and have their opinions outweigh the overall communities. This allows any member of the Star Citizen community, unfortunately because it's on my Twitch channel, it tends to be my little community, but I would like to get it wider and wider and wider if we can, to come on and share their opinions about things in Star Citizen. And for today's topic, your thoughts on the Squadron 42 update. So without further ado, we will jump in and start with our first caller, IDDKFA. Let's bring him in here. IDD, how you doing today?
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
I'm good.
Oh man, married man now. Congratulations.
Yeah. So for those of you guys that don't know, I got married on Thursday. I actually don't have the ring on at the moment. It's upstairs. But yeah, I'm married.
Dude.
What?
That's your first strike. You're not wearing the ring?
No, I'm going to wear it to work today.
I see. Well, I kind of feel like we had that topic before, right? Or a similar one.
We may have, yes, but it's this specific update that I think we should really discuss, because I think this was a really big kick in the nuts for its community, for this community. I think it really shows where CIG looks at us, where they stand with us, what they think about us, and how they feel they can continue to update us their versions of updates are sort of unacceptable. The whole roadmap to a roadmap idea. It's just kind of, how stupid do you think we are?
Yeah, I agree.
So yeah, I mean, like, what are your thoughts generally about it?
All right, let's start talking about Xylo's Spectrum post, or I should rather call it CIG's statement.
Okay.
First, I didn't really feel attacked or blamed by it, as some others did, but I
Yep.
had various other issues with it.
Okay.
Let me start with a statement that they've injected more Squadron 42 related content into their shows. Yes, there was a Squadron 42 themed Calling All Devs, but first of all, that was more of a reaction to the, for several months, not updated pre-existing roadmap. And
Yeah.
secondly, it's more about why the way they initially did the roadmap wasn't working, plus some vague glimpses and ideas of what they want to achieve with a new roadmap.
Sure. And I
But
think that that's fine, because what they did doesn't work, and that's okay. You know?
Yep. But that's it if you want to talk about Squadron related updates. Yes, there was more mentioned in the post, but that stuff went like, and we use this in Star Citizen and Squadron 42. So shared tag is now proof you kept us updated.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Next time they show off a new character animation, I should go like, fuck yeah, nice Squadron update. I mean, really? That's hardcore reaching.
Yeah. The whole thing is when they touch on the monthly reports, I think most people don't read those, and it really does update what they're doing. So if you take the time to read those, which, 900% of the clickbait Star Citizen's community is mad at Star Citizen YouTube videos and articles, never read a monthly report, right? Most of the Star Citizen community doesn't read the monthly report.
Yeah, for me, it's if you trust what they are saying, like that's sadly a big issue for me.
I sort of do. Yeah. The thing is those updates are made by the devs and not the marketing side of things.
True.
So I sort of do trust those updates of what's going on, and typically because what you see in those updates does make it into Star Citizen, and like for the PU one. So why wouldn't I trust them?
Everything makes it in eventually, right?
Yes, but it makes it in the timeline of where they're discussing it. Typically, I have absolutely no issues with the roadmaps or with the monthly reports.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that's where I think, like, hey, that section of the article was like, hey, we do update you, just so you know, we do update you, and I think that I would argue that they do, and they did tell you that, hey, things on this video are not really here. So I sort of am with them on that statement. Most of the other ones, not so much.
Now, the next section in the post was much more worrying to me.
Yes.
They've mentioned their new planned show, how they did the recording and had scuffed audio and were lacking visual footage to back up the talking, right? The fun stuff for me was the main reason why the show got canceled wasn't the audio, it seemed, but how they couldn't find footage to splice in.
Yeah.
And I was like, how on earth can't you find footage for something that's due for beta in a couple of months at worst? How is that even possible? So I kind of have to assume that they have a hard time to show anything gameplay related unless you lock 10 guys in a basement for weeks to stitch something together.
Yeah, like something for CitizenCon. Or it's a ship video that is a cinematic that is not the you're like, it's in engine but it's not the game, right? It's scary. It's scary.
Yeah. I mean,
why does
like you said.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, like you said, we just don't know where Squadron 42 is. We have no idea. We can just make assumptions based on what we have inside Star Citizen.
Yes. So I mean, that's kind of the point that I'm making here. That is the biggest disconnect from them. Is you say we just don't know where Squadron 42 is, and the whole thing is the update that they planned wouldn't tell you where it is either. It was just going to show you 2 little bits of game development. I don't need to know how you're making Squadron 42. I think we need to know, is it done? When's it gonna be done? Nobody gives a fuck about how you make it. It's this whole, like, this documentary of how we make Star Citizen and Squadron 42 thing. It's like, that's what they think that the community needs at all times. I think it's very cool. But what do you think about that part where, like, I think you said it, right? We don't know where it is. And I think people want to know where it is. They don't want to know how.
I wish they would just come clean and say, we can't hold the beta date, we are way off. It's always the same thing with Squadron. In 2014, they were late on informing us. In 2016, they canceled it 5 minutes into CitizenCon on the fucking stage.
Yeah.
It's always Squadron 42.
Yeah. But what do you want from an update is sort of what I was asking you with the last question. To simplify it, what do you want from an update from them? Good or bad, you know, it could be good news, it could be bad news, but what do you want? What do you expect from them?
I don't care. Give me the hard, honest truth. Like, that's what I want. I don't care if it's late. I just want to know where it's at. Like, what can I expect, and not what can I assume or dream of.
Why do you want to know so badly where it is right now? I know this is kind of a weird question, but trying to gauge something.
There are 2 things. One, I think it's a money injection they still need, and CIG needs to win at some point. Like a public statement, like, we are alive, we can do all this crazy stuff.
No, I mean, like, what would it look like? I'm sorry, like, what would it look like? What would it entail? Does it have to be? Does it have to be a video showing gameplay of it? Should it be somebody sitting there and just saying, "Hey, we're going to be late," or "This is where we're at"? Does it have to be a roadmap that explains where it's at, like similar to what we have now, but works better for the development of the current game? What do you want from them?
Well, I never cared about any fucking roadmaps. Like, it's just intent, not what's going to happen, or reliable when it's going to happen. What I want, let me say it like this: I would be satisfied if you have an over-the-shoulder cam of a dev playing in the build, like anything. It doesn't have to be a spoiler, but it has to be. I have to see someone actually playing it. It's not fabricated or whatever. He needs to play it, and I don't care for spoilers. But I personally, that's a problematic situation I'm in. I don't trust what they say. Like, I really need to see it, actually see it, and that's probably something I will never get.
Yeah, I mean, this post certainly doesn't.
Something.
Yeah, and this post they made certainly doesn't make you trust them more, right?
Really?
Yeah. So, are you more interested in Star Citizen the MMO or Squadron 42?
Personally, I'm interested more in Squadron 42. Okay. I know one of the few. It's because that's actually why I backed the game, to have the Wing Commander experience again. That was my main focus. I would like to play Star Citizen, but the kind of game I want to play is what I think is many, many years away.
Yeah. I guess, is there anything else you want to add? What do you think about the roadmap to a roadmap? Like, what do you think? What do you think about the way they view us? How do you think they view us based off of this post?
I feel like this entire post feels like it's from someone who got caught red-handed. I felt like they haven't even started working on the roadmap. Like there were some ideas tossed around, but there's actually nothing there beyond that.
Yeah, like it almost feels like Xylo, when he mentioned, like, do you remember? You may not have seen it, but do you remember the calling all devs for Squadron 42, where it was Xylo and Brian Chambers, and Xylo was like, "Hey, yeah, we want to get Brian more on camera," and Brian goes, "What?" Like, that seemed genuine.
Sure,
that was genuine.
Yeah,
that seemed super genuine. Like no, I don't want to do that. I don't have time for that. I want to finish this fucking game. That's what it seemed like. You know?
I feel like if you would talk in private to Brian, he would be absolutely honest with you.
Yeah, of course.
Like one of the people I would think I would get full honesty from.
Yeah. And when guys like that work there, that's what kind of tells you that, you know, they're not doing this shit to us on purpose. Is the vibe I get. Like, when you meet these people in person and you know them sort of personally, you know that they're not doing this to us on purpose. You know? You know they're just lost at some point.
I don't think any of the devs does, and I feel like they often have to bite their tongue to not say certain things they shouldn't say, but they would love to say.
Yeah, I agree.
For Chris Roberts, for a couple of years now, I say Chris Roberts would sell your grandma to get this done by any means necessary, and that even includes lying on purpose.
Okay. I don't know. I think we're in a place where I don't know if I can agree or disagree with that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Yeah. All right, IDD. I guess we'll leave it there, but thanks for coming in. Thanks for the first call of the day. I think it was a good one.
Yep. Thank you for having me. Have a good one.
Yeah, man. All right. And our next caller is Henrik. Hey, Henrik. What's up, dude?
Hello, Mike. Not
How you doing?
too much.
So what do you think about this?
Voice update first of all.
Worst update?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
what's so bad about it?
I don't, for me personally, I don't need this kind of video update kind of thing. But I would like them to get that freaking roadmap, something to show us where they are.
Mm-hmm.
So we have an idea. Is it in beta in the end of this quarter, which I fairly don't think it is.
Yeah.
For example, the we can actually see it on the flight model. It isn't finished yet, and when it is next quarter, it's
maybe
finished.
even further.
Yeah, and it is one of the key things in Squadron 42. It's the flight model.
Absolutely.
So I don't think it's in beta before maybe quarter 2 of 2021.
Mm-hmm. Did you originally back for Star Citizen or Squadron 42? What are you more interested in?
I backed when the Squadron 42 and Star Citizen, when Squadron 42 was the not trailer, but no, what is called? Why do I forgot that name? Where you get told how the different system works in the game.
What do you mean? So did you buy the package that had both of them?
No, at the time they were one package. You couldn't buy two of them.
Oh, so before they ever split,
is
what you're saying. But in general, when you did buy a package, what were you buying? Were you buying for both? Were you like, oh, I really want the wing command, like I want the next wing commander, or were you more interested in the MMO?
I buy the MMO because I didn't know the Squadron 42 even existed
Okay.
as an thing. So,
Yeah.
but when I found it out, I was kind of stoked because I think it will be a good game.
Sure.
And I have never played the other games. I'm too young for them.
Gotcha. Yeah. Like the older audience, I think, for the community probably got interested because of Squadron 42, and I think the younger audience has been looking for the next great MMO. I think the older audience has also been looking for that next great MMO as well. But I think overall the
Yeah.
the larger percentage of the community is more interested in Star Citizen, and the idea of getting an update for Squadron 42, they just want to know when it's going to be done. Because they want to know when they're going to start working on their MMO, you know?
It's exactly the same thing I actually think. When do we want to be done? And why is it so hard to tell us? Actually, tell us. You don't even have to tell us how many people there are on. Just what is the state of what you are working on, and you have the year which tells you that.
Yeah. What
Uh,
do you think they're lying to us? Do you think they don't want to tell us because it's going to be bad news? What do you think it is?
I'm not sure. But yes and no. I don't think they are lying to us.
I don't either.
I don't think the devs are lying to us. I could imagine the marketing team is lying because they stand for the income, and I see them as a little bit Scrooge McDuck that want to keep all his pennies.
Sure, but do you think maybe that they would be lying to us because they don't know anything about game development?
Yeah, and
I don't think they're really
very
lying.
few
I think
people-
they're ignorant.
Yeah,
And I don't think
actually,
that they're willing to
that's
do the
a good
work
point.
to understand this project and this community.
It's actually also quite hard to figure out how this stuff works.
But isn't that the most disappointing thing? This is why I'm not mad at Xylo necessarily, but I am. I'm disappointed. Because Xylo's been here from the beginning. He knows us. He knows better. That's why this feels like something outside of him. How can you know? How can you write this and knowing us and think that that was acceptable? That's the most disappointing part of all this for me.
Yeah, I can follow in that, and I'm not sure how. Or I think maybe maybe he. The only thing I can think is he maybe make a kind of mistake and didn't read us quite right, or maybe read us with some blindfold because he was stressed out.
Yeah. Exactly.
Access.
It's disappointing. I think there was some pressure on him. And I think it goes down to the second this it was just ridiculous, the timing of it. The second this got out of the Star Citizen community and was out to the wider gaming community, which is all potential money coming in at that point, or loss of money if it's a negative thing, that's when they responded.
Yeah.
And that was the part that was like, man, I feel fucking worthless to you. I feel like you already got my money, and you don't care about me anymore, you know?
But also, because of the community, is also why they want to have that high of a standard with their videos. Because if they don't have that standard, the outside community will see, how bad is that film? It's kind of trash. Why would I put any money into this game? And they won't look at it again, or of any of the other videos.
That's a really good point that you're making there, is that they make a standard of video that we're used to now, and they feel that if they don't keep up to that standard, then we would be upset. And on top of that, people who look from this game at the outside would be like, they have $300 million and it looks like this. You know, they can't even get a good microphone.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's really understandable as well.
Yeah.
But I do argue
And
with that a little
it-
bit, is that this was an update for the community. This was updated for people who paid for the game already. Hey, where is it? You know, that's what we want to know. And I think that's what they misunderstood, is they want to update on some random ass tech that nobody cares about.
And that is also a little weird, but maybe actually I don't also understand it, because if it's I think it's a small part, and if it is a pilot episode, it's maybe easier to figure out how this series is gonna work.
Yeah.
And then don't focus on the just so heavily on the Squadron 42, but focus on a little part of it to figure out how everything else will fit together, and then maybe in the third episode, look at a bigger picture of Squadron 42.
Sure.
That was probably how I would put it, but
Sure.
I think also that because of the pandemic, the timeline have been pushed away, because again, the quality, it's practically impossible for them to get it.
What do you want
high.
out of a roadmap of Squadron 42 from them?
Actually, I want a standard year roadmap, kind of, where you can see which features is done, which feature is in progress, which features is in the backlog, and no date, nothing. Just show how many teams is working on those features that is in progress.
Sure. I sort of agree. I would be totally fine with percent done, which I know would be probably pretty difficult to determine, right?
You can set it out of how many tasks is set to done.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't give you a quite a good estimate of how long that user story, it's called, would take.
That's true.
Feature would take.
That's true. So you would want something that's more feature based to say, this is how many tasks are on this feature and how far away it's from being done.
Yeah.
Like when the expected complete time is.
Yes.
Okay.
No, I don't want no time, and I don't want a time on it. I just want to know how many tasks there is, and maybe once a quarter or something, tell us how the task is moving around. What's the blocker for this thing, and what is
Yeah, it's sort of what we have now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Kind of. But they give us a.
It's weird, the chapter thing. But yeah, the chapter thing has to go. But all right, Henrik. Well, we got a bunch of people on the line. So, is there anything else you want to add before we head out?
And only that we kind of have the where we see a dev see it and play the game with the the slice of the cake.
Oh, you want a vertical slice again? Another one?
Slice, yeah. No, I don't want it. I actually think we have what I need from that.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I just think people is forgetting we have it.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a lot of tech and features that weren't in the game that would be, but they still showed what could be, right?
It would be nice to have a replay of it.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of cool. I think I would like to see a little ship combat in the vertical slice, personally. I don't think there really was too much, if any. But
it was because the pips was bugged out.
Yeah.
If you remember it.
I don't remember it that well, to be honest. I should go back and watch it. I should for just the fact for the conversation.
It was when they were quantum in from for searching for this. It was when they were trying to get it down to the planet for searching for the missing officer.
Okay.
Go and watch it at some time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually going to bring it up on the screen for the next caller. But all right, Hendrik, I guess we'll let you go.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling in, as always, man. We'll catch you soon.
No problem. See you sometimes.
Yeah, man. Later, buddy. All right, so before we head to the next caller, we have a tweet from Damien. He says, just give me a progress bar and percentage and hide how many tasks of the total are done. That's all I want from a Squadron 42 roadmap. Not everything needs to be an SEO for marketing purposes when CIG should provide a customer a service for their backers. Yeah, I sort of agree with that one. I think in the end, what I think a lot of this will highlight is that the community really just wants to know the progress on the game and nothing else. And that's where the real disconnect is here, is that the community just isn't getting updated. And it's very, very frustrating. All right. With that said, let's bring in our next caller, Unmatched. Welcome, Unmatched. How you doing? Hello? Can you hear me? Unmatched. All right, we'll put you next in line. Crazy Daniel. Crazy Daniel, welcome. Unmatched maybe had a little microphone issue or something.
All right.
Can you hear me?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So, what do you think about everything here?
So yeah, there's multiple things. I think one thing is that you, at this point, after following it for a while now,
Yeah.
since like 2014, you can see a pattern happening,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems to be over and over. So people not happy, ignored, outrage.
Sure.
Magazines start reporting it, and they reply to us with a big post with a lot of stuff in it, but without any real information really, other than. And I think that's pretty bad. I mean, at some point you need to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And when you see Reddit going up in flames or Spectrum, you need to act to it, even if it's something small.
Yeah.
But they seem to wait every time until it's too late, where people are extremely angry, at least a big part of it or a part of the community, and then make it sound like it's not affected by magazines picking it up, which is, I mean, how stupid do you think we are? It's pretty obvious it is.
Yeah. And isn't that one of the more frustrating things? Is it just feels like they could dupe us. That's the I don't know if that's what they're doing, but that's the feeling it gives.
Well,
at least to me.
The thing is, yeah, they can get away with everything because the sales are amazing.
Yeah.
So they probably feel like they can get away with it. Now, is it the people in direct contact with us that are thinking this? Probably not. Is it higher up marketing or maybe even up higher who thinks he can do it? Probably. But it's really unfair, I think, to the backers to be like that. Just be honest about it. It's not a problem in being late. Mm-hmm. It's a problem in being waiting until the last moment, or even if they can 5 months after it, and then say, "Oh shit, yeah, we missed the deadline."
It seems like they hope it just goes away, right?
Yeah, ignore it and it goes away, but that doesn't work. I mean, there's a lot of smart people there. They should know that.
Yeah.
It's not like there's a bunch of dumb people sitting in an office.
No.
I mean, they should know what's gonna happen. And now you have the bad press everywhere. You saw the YouTube guy. He's got 1.2 million followers or something, subscribers. It's this stuff goes out because you're too late.
Yeah.
And that's one part of it which I'm mostly disappointed in the company because of that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
Not because they're late, but because they're not honest about it.
Yeah, I mean, they're not honest, but they're just. I feel like they just don't get it, or they don't get us.
I don't know. I mean, the community guys, you know, they're on the streams. They know what's happening. They're not stupid. The thing is someone's blocking them from acting and thinking.
Yeah,
we don't know. I don't know. Just to guess.
That's what it feels like.
But I'm pretty sure. If I was on the front line, I would not wait this long unless someone stops me from doing it.
Yeah.
Which I feel is happening, but it's just a feeling we don't know that much, I guess, from the company really. So it's just a guess, like a lot of other things.
Yeah, which is it
And
sucks, but
yeah, it's disappointing. It really is. And but the thing is, as long as money keeps rolling in, they probably keep doing it. And I don't think money should stop. It just shows that they're doing the right thing because there's a lot of money coming in.
in their minds,
The other,
yeah. But
Yeah.
the biggest frustration is this is about the Squadron 42 update, and you know they take money from Star Citizen advertising and apply it to make Squadron 42. And I
Yep.
think that'll go to my next question to you is did you buy Star Citizen or did you buy Squadron 42 or did you buy both? Like what excited you about the project? Was it one, the other, or was it the fact that they were making both?
well, I mean, I got hooked by the helmet flip.
Okay.
So and at that point, I don't think there was a split package, so you had both of them.
But are you more into the MMO or more into the
Oh.
single player, I guess?
I'm both. I'm really
Okay.
into single player games as long as they're good.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be amazing as long as the storyline grabs me and it pulls me in. That's good enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely also interested in multiplayer stuff, of course. The
Okay.
MMO.
Yeah, so you're somewhere in between, which is cool. I think a lot of people are probably there as well that came in the 2014, 2015, 2016 times was that. When did you back? Earlier than that or
2014, somewhere
Yeah.
in the middle of the year, I think.
Sure. And then
So
people who
pretty
backed
early.
post 2016 are probably more interested in Star Citizen rather than Squadron 42 because they don't know it exists for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
So-
what do you expect from an update from them at this point?
So, and that part is, and I think a lot of people said it before as well, is kind of weird where you had a roadmap which wasn't updated,
Mm-hmm.
and the end date for the beta was somewhere in this quarter.
Yeah.
So you would think if you don't update the roadmap and
Then it
then
would-
make a video about it saying, well, the roadmap was not indicating well what we're doing, blah blah blah, and you'd think that they come up with something showing where they are, right?
You think if they
So-
don't update it that it would be correct, even
Maybe, I don't
like
know.
that.
But you would think
that timeline is still exists. If it's still sitting there on your website, then you would think that timeline likely would still exist. At least I would.
the thing should have been taken down. That's one thing.
Mhm.
But I mean, you would think that if you make an update video, you would think that there's an indication of where they are,
Mhm.
what's blocking them from getting to a beta or whatever.
Sure.
But we get whatever it was they wanted to make a nice looking video about, and I don't get that. Is that something to like make us look away from how far it is into looking pretty graphics and make
Perhaps.
it seem like everything's fine? That makes me feel really uncomfortable because it's almost like they're trying to distract us with something nice and shiny, like
Sure.
it happens a lot of times. So all I want is where are we, and I don't need to have an end date because we know they're pretty bad at that.
Mm-hmm.
But we need something. Is
Yeah.
it close-ish, or is it years away?
Yeah.
Looking at the roadmap from the old roadmap, I was thinking probably a year plus away from being somewhere close.
And how does that make you feel? There's nothing really we can do about it, right? You kind of just have to roll with the punches. And I think overall the Star Citizen community is pretty comfortable with that.
They're really forgiving, and that surprises me. Where people, and I mean, I can see people defending the game, but if some person in real life is dishonest, or like, I'm not dishonest is a bad word, but is doing that to you in person, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't accept it.
Yeah.
Dishonest is not a good name for it, but you would not accept it. But somehow Chris Roberts can do it. And it's kind of amazing to see how. and
It's
why.
Why do you think it is?
I think people are so far in that they're ignoring all the signs.
Yeah, I'll say that in a different way. I think it's because we really want it to be true. Right?
You want it to become a real thing, you mean?
Yeah. I think we want everything they say to be real. And I think it just comes down to, if we come to the realization that it might not be, it would be really disappointing. You know what I mean? And I think we just want to have that hope. Because that's what this game represents, right? It's hope that we won't have another game from EA that just isn't there. Another, I don't know, Fallout 76 or, another DayZ. We wanted something special, something different. And that's what they provided to us, is what it felt like, was hope. And
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to, and why we're so forgiving is because we just want it to be real, man.
Yeah, it's a, and I think, honestly, I think also for some people it might be an addiction, where it is not booze or something else, but it's collecting.
Yeah, like as far as the people who buy a lot of spaceships, you mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
So I'm really interested. The fact that the last part of the post where they show a roadmap to a roadmap to a roadmap, it makes me, it pretty much confirms me that we're pretty far away.
That we're far away. Yeah.
If it was months, they wouldn't put that much time into it. They could have just posted saying, "Hey, we missed 2 months and we're almost there."
Yeah.
If they need a roadmap for it's going to be a year plus, or maybe.
Yikes! I didn't think of it that way. Yikes! That actually, that sucks. I mean, I think we all knew, but yeah.
The only thing we can hope is that new people keep coming in, keep funding, and maybe the people who already are keep funding and they finish it at some point.
Yep.
But yeah, the dishonesty is I think it's hurting them the most. It's why I stopped purchasing in ships.
Same.
I think it was 2006. It's not gonna happen anymore.
Yeah. Well, all right, Crazy. I think that does it for us for today. Is there anything else you want to add before I let you go?
I think that was it.
All right, man. Thank you so much for your call. Yeah, that was an eye opener. That last little bit. Thanks for that. I hope you're wrong too. I think we all do. But have a great one, bud. All right, so we have a few more tweets, so we'll get through a couple of them here, actually. This one is from Mud Trucka. The information I would like to see regarding Squadron 42 roadmap are percentage complete, or how close to beta, release the development, and what blockers need to be overcome. A giant chart with prerequisites would be great. I understand percentage is not necessarily linear. Yep. Let's go for the next one too. Is I can't say it better than this. This is from Ramboos, and it says, "Dear CIG, a progress report does not require a show." This one's going to be weird to see. Let me see if I can kind of. Here, I'll just read it to you. All right, this is some like weird screenshot. A progress report does not require a show, a video, B-roll, studio audio, a new interactive roadmap website, contraption thing. A progress report requires someone to sit in on the production meeting, take notes, scrub out spoilers, AE replace Klingon space station with CH2 location A, and post it somewhere we can read it. It does not need to be complex to work. Love, this guy's name. And I agree, right? So Ramboos just made a post from someone on Spectrum, and it's just true, man. It doesn't need to be that. You need to tell us where it is. And in a way, that is what the monthly report is. But the thing about the monthly report is it's an update on the features that are being worked on at the time. I think we need a more overarching progress report of where Squadron 42 is. and we don't have to take based off of this feature and that feature, and we have to line in and connect all the dots with red rope to figure out what is actually going on. You know what I mean? So, all right, let's get to our next caller here. Our next caller is Unmatched. So Unmatched has his mic ready to go or whatever. Unmatched, you there, bud?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, loud and clear, man. What's up?
Oh man, nothing. Just working as always and sleeping all through Saturday.
Nice.
Pretty.
So,
like,
what were your thoughts on this?
my thoughts. Where
And if
do
you
I
get
start?
off track, I'm gonna reel you back in.
All right, I won't get off track. But,
All right.
First of all,
Okay.
like think about like the amount of time that we've spent getting to this point. It's been 8 years or whatever.
Sure.
Year and a half to spoil up their developers and stuff like that, get the group together and stuff like that. Take that 8 years and then compare it to other companies that started that has no other experience. Take Escape from Tarkov, which is basically a bunch of guys in a kind of third world country made one of the best hardcore shooters of them all, and compare that to Star Citizen. And take at all. Look what he did in like after 2 years of white papering. Look what he did in 3 years with a multiplayer, and then compared to
what game is that? Sorry, you cut off about the this game that you're talking about currently.
Ashes of Creation.
Okay.
Take he took after 2 years of white papering the game. He look where he's at right now, 5 years in with a multiplayer, and compare that to 8 years of Star Citizen. We have 8 years and we don't even single player. They took out the what was supposed to be the co-op part of the single player. They took that out, threw it on the ground, and now all we need is a single player. We don't have a single player yet.
Mm-hmm.
When you're comparing it to Escape from Tarkov and Ashes of Creation, both games that don't have any previous, both game companies that don't have any previous, game history, and compared to what Star Citizen has done, add in the amount of money Star Citizen has, and it just causes a whole bunch of anxiety.
Sure.
And
yeah, I mean it's tough. And you mean as a backer, like seeing how other games are progressing versus this?
Yeah, like this guy brought up a good thing. Look, we had two was in development. We've had Escape from Tarkov go from shit game to like master level hardcore game. We had all these games finished, and like we're looking at Star Citizen, like we gave you 300 million, 400 million if you consider private investment. Where's the game? Where's the game? Why aren't we getting constant updates? It seems like as soon as he had the money flowing in with Chris Roberts start putting himself in videos and stuff like that. I don't even remember the last time I've seen Chris Roberts. You know what I'm saying? And I try to watch all of it. Nowadays, all we're getting is like maybe we'll get a 10-minute that around a verse replacement. I forgot what it's called. We'll get a 10-minute video of that, and then we get on Fridays we get the calling all devs of some guy in like a corner office somewhere we don't even know about. And it just like it's gut wrenching, to think of like just comparing to other people,
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But the other thing is you can always make the comparison is that the scale of Star Citizen is much larger than the scale of those games.
Yeah, you can say that. I was prepared for you to say that. You can but it still doesn't.
But
I understand
it doesn't come down to the game.
Yeah,
one game versus the other.
It doesn't matter to what other people have gotten done in that same amount of time.
It matters how you update people. It matters how you keep us in the loop. That's what matters. And we're not going here, but the Ashes of Creation just seems like the next Star Citizen to me.
even if it's the next Star Citizen, at least it's funded by another guy. Am I right?
Yeah, at least it's not funded by us. That's the big
Yeah.
positive. You know.
Yeah. It's not funded by us, and
But you
if
still
we're not
might be
risking no money-
disappointed in the end. So
yeah, we might be disappointed, but he's not asking for our money. He doesn't care if we don't donate to his project. So it doesn't matter if he fails or doesn't fail, because it's all of his money. You know what I'm saying? This is our money. This is our 300
Yeah.
mil. This is my $1,000. You know.
So where's your update? So let's stop you there and say, what do you want an update to look like then? What do you want from these guys? And stick to Squadron if you can, because this was the big thing was that they're not updating us on Squadron. I think they do a fairly good job of updating us on what's going on with Star Citizen. So Squadron's really the problem here. What do you expect from an update from them?
Before you and the other guy during the tweet said it, like I wrote down on my notes here. If anybody's in front of me or you're blabbering on in the intro or something like that, write down notes. And I wrote down percentage because that's exactly what I want. Like in the perfect world, I would just like a percentage, and I would like more updates. Like I want long ATVs, at least 15 minutes. I want more updates. I want Chris Roberts to come off of come out of his throne room and start talking. And you were totally right. The only reason why Star Citizen the devs came out about us getting riled up about where Squadron 42 is because we probably started CIG found out that we were probably gonna start affecting money coming in.
It was on r/gaming.
Yeah.
It was on r/gaming. That's that's the second they're gonna come out and say something. But I think they look at us as a bunch of whining little babies. But
yeah,
what's funny is I think a lot of the things on our Reddit, they were just fucking memes. I really don't think that many people were like that freaked out and that upset about it. I think they were just memes, dude. Like people just need to laugh at the situation we're in.
Maybe, yeah, but it might have been memes, and we would have the Star Citizen Reddit might have been memeing, but it's I don't think it's a joke at this point when you got $300 million and 400 and another $100 million in private investment. That's a lot of money to go up in smokes. And I hate that I have to go I was promising myself I would never play another fantasy-esque, dragon slaying role playing game ever again. And after I saw what AOC had, I couldn't help myself but to get hyped up, and that this time my money isn't on the line, so it doesn't matter if the game fails or not. But I have $1,000 given to Chris Roberts, and he doesn't even show his damn face anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as somebody that's been backing since December 2015, you can't help but to not get angry at this dude for not giving us updates of a single player game, a damn single player game that's
supposed to be easier.
We got Tarkov, we got Ashes of Creation, we got two
Last of Us,
we got Ghost of Tsushima, all these crazy big titles that came out in that time, and Star Citizen and Chris Roberts couldn't give us one damn single player game that they chopped out the co-op section of, you know what I'm saying? And
I know what you're saying.
It's just something you can't help but to get angry when you put so much money into this game. And now another point that you brought up to me was that Star Citizen basically gave you PTSD about backing other games. It did the same thing for me too.
I won't back Ashes of Creation because of Star Citizen.
Yeah, that's exact. I feel the exact same way. You took the money, the words out of my.
And you maybe took the money out of the pocket
of Star Citizen when I really would like to give some money to give some money to Ashes of Creation, even though he doesn't need it. I would still like to give him.
You're getting off topic.
Yeah. All right. but you get what I'm saying.
Of
And
course.
yeah, all I would like is a percentage update. I would like a video. And I just want Chris Roberts to come out of his damn throne room and stop millions of dollars every month off of doing nothing now. Barely a 10-minute video every week, and you have some guy blabbering for an hour that you don't really of things you don't care about on a Friday.
Yeah.
So
All right.
that's pretty much what I got to say.
I agree. All right, guys. That was unmatched.
Did I cut out a lot?
You did.
during?
I don't know. You got a little problem with your internet, sounds like.
Yeah, I called them up last night. Whatever. I'm going to call them again. All right.
Call them
thank you.
again. Get on the phone with them. Unmatched, everybody. The Ashes of Creation community manager, unmatched. Everyone clap in the chat for unmatched. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you very much, Unmatched, for your call, man. I appreciate it. A lot of really good points. And Ashes is an important one to make, to be honest. So, all right, before we move on, as you can see, I previewed it a little bit by accident, as we have a couple more tweets that came in. At SaltEMike, hashtag answer the call. I don't care about Squadron 42, but its development clearly hinders Star Citizens. That sucks the most. I think that does kind of hammer home the idea that I'm kind of saying is what the update. This is from Sir Green Lemon at SaltEMike hashtag ATC. What the update showed me is that they are afraid of telling the community about the real state of Squadron 42 because let's be real here, it can't be on schedule at this point. If it was, they would be talking about it nonstop. They would be advertising it everywhere. Yes, I agree. That is something like, for whatever reason, that did not cross my mind, and that is the big one. Is if it was ready, if it was in a good place, they'd be like, see, look at us guys, see, we're doing it, and they're not. So all right, with that said, let's bring in our next caller, Quams. Quams, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, sir.
Okay, just let me switch off Twitch. Okay, here we go. Well, from my point of view, I have to first the points that you made and Crazy Daniel started off is, and this is something I actually thought the same when the update came out. I said, oh, well, that doesn't bode well for the current state. I mean, they took ages to reply, and I don't want to support any of these 500,000 threats of where is the SQ42 update video that popped up everywhere. But it was just what they told us they could have basically written 3.5 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, and everything would be fine.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I sort of waiting for Squadron 42 because especially when I have a lot of work, I like to play single player games because I'm not pissing somebody off who's waiting for me to join. I like MMOs, but you have
it's
to have
more
a bit
on
of
your
time.
time.
Yeah, it's more on my time, especially when there's a lot of work to do. I never know when I come off or when I have time or when something is burning somewhere in the world and I have to jump in. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I don't mind them taking time, to be honest. This is not so much my point. Like, okay, yeah, make it good. Take your time. Yeah, but keep us updated and at least a little bit. And when I first looked at the roadmap of Squadron 42, the one they finally put down, I was like, man, this is far too detailed. You're never gonna keep up with updating that.
Yes.
And well, it ended up in not being updated. I mean, and with the video part, let me point out something small which I just realized. In the intro, you were bitching about, it's not the video quality and blah. But when you were looking the SAS isn't live or whatever that Friday show is called these days, you said, oh well, yeah, now you see why they need good background video as they were shown on of Horizon. So
no,
you sort of.
I'm not I think you're trying to say that I contradicted myself there. So just to give reference, is we watched the Calling All Devs, and they put the background video of Horizon while the guy talked about it, and it did add to the video. So I can see why they want to do that.
Okay.
But what it really comes down to is, what do we need? You don't need to show us background video for telling us the state of Squadron 42. But if you were going to make the video that they were going to make, which is not what the community needs, it would require background video, and it would require for it to be on topic with what they're discussing. Right?
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks for clarifying that.
No,
I was just a bit like, okay.
Yeah.
From the point of view of what we need, and I'm a bit I'm really grumpy with them with that regard. Is
Okay.
I mean, we don't need anything super polished, because I read all the monthly reports, and there's most of the information is in there. But what I would expect them to deliver is something basic, telling us, okay, Squadron 42, these are the main blockers at the moment where we're working on. These are the main tasks we are tackling, and update that every month. It's just it could be just one little page on the web page. It's basically where you can see there's update coming in and stuff coming in. Like, okay, we have we're starting to look into chapters. At the moment, the ship or the capital ship assets are not going along. Something which give us the confidence that there's something happening. At least, I mean, we put money in the whole game. I stopped doing it as well. I haven't bought a ship for over a year now, just mainly for these reasons.
Did you back pre 3.0 or post 3.0?
Oh, lots for 3.0. I actually, I think I owe 2015.
So do you remember the burn down stuff for 3.0, where they were constantly talking about is that something more of what you would want?
Yeah, that would be actually, yeah. I remember the burn down stuff, and I remember you and Saurus actually taking that apart in your podcast. Yeah, something like this. I mean, doesn't have to be that detailed, but something like this gives us, I mean, especially the point is they're supposedly entering beta in the next months. Let's say months, less than 12 months, less than a year. And when they're entering beta, I expecting a lot more, or I want a lot more regular updates, especially like, okay, 5 of 10 missions now working. QA has found problems in cinematics. Something where you say, and now toppling that, something where you can actually see and can have, get a bit like, okay, cool, there's something coming up. But this complete silence all the time, and then I mean, yeah, is really something which I don't think is good for the developers as well.
What?
That's something.
Here's the most frustrating thing, right? And I think this is what you're saying, is that there's these people that work really hard on this game and really care, and then the way they communicate to us makes it look like we don't respect how hard they work, and respect the work that they've put out so far. Yeah, and that's not the case.
And no, exactly, and I think this is not really I'm nearly 100% certain that this is not a good position for their own team motivation. I'm doing R&D, project management, and doing stuff myself for major companies supplying energy. Let me put it like this. And the worst clients are the ones who don't react to any kind of update. When I'm pushing down whatever, weekly, monthly, depending on the contract, you push out an update to the clients, and there's silence. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard for my teams or myself to actually get motivated. But if you send something out to a client, this is the update, and then something comes back, be it good, be it bad, but you get some feedback. This actually usually motivates the developers tremendously. There's nothing cooler if you can come back from a client-side meeting and you talk to your team like, guys, client was absolutely amazed by the latest results we presented. That is a push. I see that in the timesheets of my guys, that actually suddenly something pushes up again. And now you imagine you being an SQ42 developer sitting somewhere in the UK, and you're working like crazy, and then you look on Spectrum, and the only thing you get is people sort of complaining like nothing, like basic shit, and telling you, wow, everything's bad and we all gonna die and this game is doomed and blah blah blah. And that is not good. And you know that it's mainly because your effing marketing department just does something completely stupid and not saying anything. I keep on wondering how these guys actually keep motivated, to be honest.
I don't know. It's so frustrating because it's completely out of their hands. And like, even when it comes down to just like little pieces of the game, like missions or something like that, like we have a lot of communications with people who work on the mission team, and it's like they can't do everything they want to do because they don't have the tech from, you know, Johnny and Billy and somebody else in another team that needs to be working on things. And then it's like, these missions suck, and it's like, well, what the fuck do you want them to do? You know, so it's tough.
Yeah, I remember you played. I was watching a stream while doing some programming a while ago, and you had one of the mission guys. I don't know what kind of mission. I think it was the 890 jump. One of the mission you played with the guy who actually implemented it.
Yeah,
and it's. I mean, that must be awesome for any kind of developer. You know, playing through, and you can, you know, give some tidbits like, oh yeah, you know, we're not there yet, but that's where we want to go. And oh, look, the NPCs are sitting in the walls again. Oh, well, I thought I fixed that. You know, this is what I expect from open development. I mean,
see their passion in it. That's when that is open development. Like that's open development. I know it's unrealistic to expect that from everybody, but that really is open development, is when you see that aspect of it. Is in what place would I ever get to do that?
Exactly. And look at the concept parts, or look at anything, even when it comes to Squadron 42. I mean, of all the time when they have somebody on who is presenting some of their stuff, you can feel how
their
happy
passion.
they are. Yeah, it's a passion, and to tell the community, look, guys, look what it is. I mean, I got a bit bored about the explosions, you know, in the last ICs, but the guy was like, and you know, here it's coming out, and you could seriously feel like, okay, this is a push for this guy, since you can't take all of them in the shows all the time because somebody don't want to, but at least give the developers the satisfaction that people say, yay, look, something moved forward again, or yay, look, the current Squadron 42 update tells us that they fixed the cinematics for people running and walking up and down stairs in the ITRIS. And the guy who actually fixed that thing, he can look there and say, yay, look, my point. And I really, I don't, honestly, yes, there is a certain offset to getting there, but I don't think it's that much of work for the teams.
So for you, how do they fix this communication problem? Why are they so disconnected from us? How can they not know that we don't give a shit about the conversation interrupt tech?
I don't know. This is one of the points I've asked myself a couple of times, because for me and for a lot of people, everybody on your podcast today, is pretty clear that we have ideas how to push that forward, and they have been communicating. You know, it's not like oh yeah, now Mike makes a podcast, and now CIG knows what to do. Well, hopefully they listen to the podcast and take some of the inputs in, but the ideas have been on Spectrum and on Reddit, so it's not like brand new.
Yeah, this isn't anything new that we're saying here.
Yeah, and for me, it's absolutely. I think there's something completely broken from the management side, or in the marketing department, or the community. Community relations stuff. Somebody there is looking at the whole thing from an I would say, maybe how you market a new pharmaceutical drug, and you have to be really careful not to tell anybody because your competition will point that out. Or even in the area I'm working in, where it's pretty clear that you try to keep as much information to yourself until the whole thing is out, so that nobody around you knows that you're working on. But this is not the bloody case in Squadron 42. I mean, it's a public funded game. It's not a big secret. Everybody knows what it's on. So giving progress is not something which should be secret in any way. And that is where I'm completely baffled. I look at the whole thing and ask myself, why and why does it take them 8 weeks or whatever come up with that message on Spectrum? It's I mean, it's not as if the devs are, in general, I would say the communication has gotten better since 3.9. Because if you look at the dev tracker, if you see that the vehicle experience team, when it comes to Star Citizen, I mean, Yogi Klatt is basically every week you see posts from him on the flight model. You know, not on every Ask a Dev, not on everything, but you realize, okay, there are people looking into it, and there are people who are really keen on telling you. And I didn't have much time to play the PTU. I mean, I tell you, I'm in the first wave, so I spent far too much money on that game. And so, but I was so surprised on a good way how you could actually feel that they reacted to what the community were telling them. Because, targeting method is not really good. One patch later, guys, we changed a bit of targeting method. Try this out. One patch later, oh, look, guys, this is not working really well. Can you try this? And why is it working there? And why can't there be? I mean, that's a huge development team in Squadron 42.
Because it's not based around money. It's not based around image. It's based around making the game better. That's why it works in that situation, and that's why it doesn't work in this. Because it's got nothing to do with the fucking game. That's why. It's got everything to do with image and perception. And that's the problem. Is they're too worried about that.
Yeah. You think that's
the game good?
You think that's the reason that the perception, they're so afraid about the wrong perception that they
even say it in the thing. I bet you guys would have complained if we just had talking heads and not saying it, right? Like they even said it in the fucking post, man.
Okay, maybe I just overread that. That makes it even worse. I mean, that makes it even worse because we're coming back to what we're talking about a while ago. Is like, it's a public funded, it's a kickstarted project. It's not something where you have to. I mean, it's not Code Red with Cyberpunk 2077. You know, where everything is super secret, and if they don't come out with a super awesome game, everything will die. No, there's no, the investor money is neglectable when you see in the big scope of funding. It's people put money in that game and hope something comes out, and the one thing they should do is give updates, and, you know, pardon my language there, fuck the perception of the community in that case.
Yeah. Because what it comes down to, and this is the thing that people really need to swallow this pill at this company, is that we are investors. And the only thing that we are investing in is hopefully a finished game, but at the minimum, what you owe us is consistent and honest updates. That's what we invested in. And that's what we deserve. And that's not what we're getting now. No.
They don't have to come back to the 3.0. And what was this year? It was 3.4 to this year, you know, where Lando was basically on every day with a show. I mean, that was burning that guy down. You know, calling all death on Mondays and law video on Tuesdays, and
it was too much.
That was way too much. I can completely accept that, even though I think that IC is a tad bit too short most of the time. But it has to be more. I mean, that's bi-weekly updates on Squadron 42. just progress, just showstoppers. And a weekly or bi-weekly video is, I mean, especially when they're supposedly so close to a beta, because in that case, I mean, we can't play the beta, and I honestly, all story-driven games where I entered the public beta, I always said in the end, like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, because well, you sort of lose a lot of the story and the cool thing of exploring everything. So I'm pretty happy about not having a public beta, but I want to hear something about it. I want to know where they are.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess, is there anything else you want to add before we let you go?
No, I'm good. Keep up the good work. I extremely enjoy your Sunday streams, calling all death, because it's something nice to listen to while doing other stuff. I really enjoy that. Keep that up.
I appreciate it. I really enjoy it too. Anytime we miss it, I feel like I missed out on something that day. Yeah, it bothers me when we don't, and I'm just really happy with the format. I know a lot of people constantly are always like, hey, bring this guy on, bring that guy on. I prefer to bring Quams on and other members of the community that don't stream and stuff like that. I think you get so much more out of this. So I appreciate it, man. Thanks, Quams.
But just one last little short thing. When you had Morphologist on, and had this double format, so you guys talking and then getting a question from community, I like that as well. And I would really looking forward if you can do one of those with somebody who knows a lot about the flight model. That would be.
We're on it. We're on it.
Yeah.
I want to let it actually come out live first.
Yeah,
so
sure.
where they stop doing iterations on it so much, then we can talk about it. So I have people like they're just on hold waiting for something like that. So I have that for the flight model and PvP.
Awesome. And make that again the concept of half the show is you guys talking and then getting questions from community. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to that one.
Absolutely, that's the plan.
Mike, stay healthy and safe, and congrats to your marriage.
Oh, thank you so much, and you as well.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Later.
Until.
Oh, I cut him off. I don't know. Sorry. I thought he was done. All right. So we do have, again, more tweets. #ATC here. And Jay Webmeister says, at SaltEMike, CIG's communication of progress, schedule, and scope is unprofessional. When or will I get what I paid for? ? For flight and combat elements are still in the works in progress. I've concluded Squadron 42 progress is exactly where the PU is. Years away and needs a lot more work. I think you can argue that a little bit, but then again, I think that NPCs probably act better. Like when you join a new server and NPCs just, are acting how they should and not standing on chairs. Yes. He also said, I would like to know how CIG treats investors versus backers. I agree. I don't think we will ever know that, but I think it would be interesting to find out. Let's see if we have any other tweets that we can fit in here. We do. This is from Beak, and he says, at SaltEMike, I called it when Squadron 42 calling all devs released. It was going to be their excuse to abandon the roadmap and no longer keep us apprised of the status. That's how it's been. You didn't really call it. It wasn't being updated before then. That's why they addressed it. But let's go with what you want to see. What are the components all required for release? A pillar talk for Squadron 42. Great idea. Thank you for that. What are the dependencies and interdependencies of those components? What is the current progress of each? % done, update weekly. What is the projected finish date of each? Update monthly. And then he says, if they're actually going to finish the project, they need something like this internally. They probably do. It shouldn't be hard for them, but at this point, I think they are so disorganized internally that they probably don't have something like that. I like that idea a lot. Something like a pillar discussion for Squadron 42 would be really interesting. All right, let's bring in our next caller now, Zio. Zio, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Hey, Mike. How you doing this morning?
I'm well, and you?
Good.
So, what do you think about all this stuff?
Well, Oh, let me just start off by saying I just discovered your channel like a month ago, and
Okay.
I'm a first-time caller.
Oh, thanks.
And I'm really enjoying your content. You have a lot more community engagement than most people, so that's really cool.
Thanks, man.
In terms of this update, what I call this is a minimum viable update.
Oh God, that's hilarious. But yeah, it is. It's the least they could have done.
Yeah, I mean, so basically, if you were looking at this thing like a burger, right? So
Yeah.
you got like, it's all bread, it's all filler. And then like you got down here at the bottom, you've got your roadmap of a roadmap. That's like, in your case, that's a slice of tomato right there.
I don't like it. I'm not a fan of tomatoes. No tomatoes on my sandwiches.
It's like an old sloppy tomato too. Like I like tomatoes, but this is not a crisp tomato. Like this is bad.
I agree.
But anyway, I think I don't blame Xylo for any of this. Like I think he's doing the best he can. I feel like he's sending out email chains on Monday and not really getting anything back from the developers he's talking to.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, he put his name on this.
He did, yeah. But like,
so he's got to own it a little bit.
He does, yeah. And there's a lot of excuses in here, and like I can see like the two things I look at is this line: with all Squadron 42 updates, our goal has been to find balance in sharing Squadron 42 content while minimally impacting the development team. I feel like the community team's trying to get info from the developers and they just can't. Like they're not willing to share what they need to share, that what we want to hear.
Or their producers aren't giving them up because they need to get their work done.
Right.
Sorry.
And
hold on one second, Zio. Let me close the door real quick.
Sure.
Now that we're married, she doesn't have to be nice. She can make as much noise as she wants. All right, go ahead.
Is your wife going to be playing?
Star Citizen, she has an account. Yeah, she has an
cool,
account, a 300i that we customized, all the colors and stuff.
Yeah, I got my wife a Avenger Titan, but she refuses to play until the game's fully released. She does not play betas.
She's smart. We're stupid.
Probably so. I mean, like I've actually backed the game back. I don't remember what year it was. I got the $30 package where you got both games included, the Aurora package or whatever.
Sure.
And I got the only ship I've bought since then is a Cutlass Blue, and that is my LTI ship. I'm going to do all bounty hunting. I'm going to do everything, but that's going to be my main focus. And like, I just feel like, well, getting back on topic, they don't really give us what we want to hear. They give whatever they are passed. Like the community team is giving us what they're given, right? But they're just not being given the things they need to be given.
Agreed. But okay, so let's spin it around a little bit and say, well, what do you expect from them then? So given what they have, what should they do?
I'd like to see sort of calling all devs for Squadron 42.
They did one.
Like, like more of a weekly update where they actually don't just rely on emails from the devs to the community managers. Just, I don't know, just more, like I said before, more meat, like more actual info. They don't know what we want. They're just giving us what they have. It's just the way I see it.
How about this? Weekly updates are impossible to do for something where you have to hide 90% of it, right? True. So what if you did something like, as a member of the community team, take the monthly report and turn it into a video? Because nobody reads the monthly report, right? Because it's a big document, it's kind of hard to read through, and a lot of it is very technical. So you can reach out to a developer and be like, hey, what did you mean by this? And then as a member of the community team, you should know what's appropriate for us, and what we may not understand and what needs a little bit more dumbing down. And then explain to us what's going on with that, and then you can do that as far as the Squadron 42 update, as far as feature work goes. But I guess I should ask you is, what are you more interested in? Are you more interested in Star Citizen or Squadron 42, or 50% both? Like, where do you stand on that spectrum?
Well, so I've been pretty hyped about it as much as anyone else for a long time, but I haven't really been playing it until recently. At this point, unless something changes, it's probably going to be my secondary game to Ashes of Creation, but hopefully they bring me back in, right?
Sure.
I'm more hyped for Star Citizen in the long run, but I would love to get my hands on Squadron 42 right now just because it's something to play,
But you're more of an MMO guy, right?
I am, yeah.
It hurts hearing Ashes of Creation. I just feel like I need to do more research on it, but it makes me really uncomfortable. I think it just is a really good example of everybody just really wants a great MMO.
Oh, absolutely.
We're just looking
waiting
for it, man.
a decent MMO for a long time.
And anything that has a chance, we sink our teeth into.
Absolutely. Yeah, but the Ashes of Creation, the only reason... So a lot of people were really hesitant about it because apparently the guy who founded it, there was like all this history about him being in multi-layer marketing, which I guess is like pyramid schemes or whatever. But like the fact that he's not charging a box cost for the game and funding the whole thing by himself, I just like, where's the risk? You don't have to pre-buy the game.
Exactly.
Like,
there is no risk.
If you're putting money into it right now, you're not buying anything ahead of time. You get game time for the money you put in right now. That's all you're getting out of it, really.
So you put risk into Star Citizen. What is the reward at the end, or should there be reward now?
The only reason I put money into Star Citizen is because I can play it now.
Okay.
But like,
is it rewarding?
In quotation marks here.
Yeah.
It's fun for. It's probably not worth what I put into it, but at the same time, it's still fun. And like, if they were to solve, all the 30Ks, it would be amazing, right?
Sure.
But
yeah, I'm with you there, but I'm trying to. How do we get back to this update part? Is we're interested in this game. We're not happy with the way they're updating us. So how do we express to them in a way that is respectful? Because it's hard. Because I know I'm emotionally invested. You seem like a pretty level-headed guy. I'm not. And I'm very emotionally, and I'm obviously financially invested, but I'm way more emotionally invested in this. And it's really difficult for me to see something like that post and feel like I feel disrespected,
Yeah.
Like, what did you feel from it?
I'm probably a little more level-headed about it because I'm less financially invested than you are because I just have the Cutlass Blue. But
true.
Yeah, like I felt like I said before, like I feel like the community posts or the community team. I'm calling it the community team. It's just Xylo we know, right?
Yeah.
But I'm assuming there's a team of people working on their news updates. I feel like they're just. In a way, I feel like they're kind of like the streamers and the content creators that are in the Evocati. I feel like they don't know what they're allowed to tell us at the same time. They don't want to lose their jobs. And there's probably a lot they'd like to tell us. And there's a lot of stuff they're not being told themselves. And they're just like giving us what they can, but it's not enough.
Yeah. That's a really, really interesting way of looking at it. Is they have a better idea of what they're allowed to tell us, but they want to tell us so much more. They want to just shake us and be like, it's not the way you think it is, but I can't tell you.
Now, this is a personal opinion, and I don't know how much you want to go into this on your stream, but I feel like the Star Citizen Leaks Discord is drumming up more hype for the game than the community team.
Sure, but it's also a lot of bullshit.
I mean, yeah, there is some of that, but like...
I'll put it this way. I like Execute. He's a nice guy. I don't know the other guys, but take a lot of what you see there with a grain of salt. Anything I've either seen has been the most obvious discussion or something that is completely untrue at this point. So
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
yeah,
I was just saying it's drumming up a lot of hype though for the game. Like there's a lot of
Yes.
features that they're talking about that the actual CIG employees
because
don't want to talk about.
because what they are good about, and this does tie into this conversation, right? So what they're really good about and what they understand is what the Star Citizen community needs. Is that they just want visual, game design, experience updates. And so the Star Citizen leaks guys, whether or not they're even true, whether they're from 2013, or 2015, some model of a ship that is so outdated it doesn't even matter and you shouldn't be discussing it. They're providing a service to the community that they need. And
They know.
And I think what you're saying is that Star Citizen should take a look at these guys and what they're doing and saying, maybe we should be doing something more like that.
Exactly. They know what the meat of the actual content should be. It's just they don't have all of it, and
Yeah, they don't have access
exactly
to
what
it.
you said. They need to take a look at what the leaks people are doing and like say, hey, okay, this is what people want to see. Let's do that. Basically.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll leave it at that because I'm not gonna bash those guys because I actually like them and I like what they're doing. It's just I don't necessarily agree with it, and that's okay. I don't have to, and they can keep doing what they're doing, and I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and I think it's both positive for the community. Yeah, I don't like their methods. I guess is the best.
I mean, they're as much fans of the game as we are. It's
Absolutely.
they're taking it a different direction, but they're still loyal to the game.
Sure, 100%. Yeah, I don't know what else. What else would you want to add to this? Is there anything else?
Well, I mean, besides the fact that obviously we haven't heard from Chris Roberts in a while, that's not good. You kind of want the thing that going back to Ashes of Creation for a little bit here. Stephen Sharif, the guy that actually is funding it all and everything, he has been very, very much forward facing on this project, and he's been talking to so many people, doing so many interviews. Has Chris Roberts done any interviews with actual content creators at all, really?
No.
Lately?
Okay, the closest thing we got, I mean, back in the day, sure, and I think when they would go to Gamescom, you could be sort of like a smallish media person and get a press pass to talk to him, and there was a lot of that stuff in 2015, 2016, and it was, listen, you do not want Chris Roberts talking. Everybody wants to see Chris Roberts on screen. You do not want this man on camera because he knows everything that's going on. This whole game is in his head, and you get him going on the little thing of where is Squadron 42, and he's going to tell you where Squadron 42 is 5 years from now, not where it is right now, which is what you need to know. Right?
Right, but you need to have somebody asking the right questions is the difference.
They do. They have a pillar talk. Do they ever talk about pillars? They have a pillar talk on 3.9. They start talking about things that are in 3.12 because Chris just is what you want because he's the
Chris
guy
needs somebody
that
to
just
reel him in.
spits out of his mouth. Yeah, they did reel him in. He's not on camera anymore.
Right? Oh, I meant they need an interviewer that can actually reel him in and keep him on topic.
Sure, maybe. But is that what you want to hear, or do you want to hear what this game is going to be? Right?
Well, I feel like he's the only one we can hear stuff from without worrying about is this person just not allowed to tell us things, because obviously he's the one who it all comes back to on what we're allowed to hear, right?
Yeah. Hold on one second. I can. Sorry. Just you weren't the last caller, and then everybody disappeared, and I don't really know what happened. So I was just discussing with that. The thing about him is he just gets too wild, and I don't think anybody can reel him in. I don't think it's possible. Right? So
yeah,
that's the thing, and I think people want to hear from him because he's the guy who got us into the project in the first place. I want to hear from him. I love hearing from him. Okay, because it excites me. I'd love to see him on
the show.
It excites me.
I'd like to see him answer the call.
He'll never be on Answer the Call. I have never even had a developer on Answer the Call. because I think it would be a really uncomfortable situation for everybody. And like, if you didn't think that I thought of messaging Xylo and saying, "Hey, would you come on answer the call?" I thought about it, but what would happen, right? Is you would have Xylo on, we would discuss what we would talk about beforehand, so everybody's comfortable, and there would be things that we can touch on and things that we couldn't, and then we can't have any callers, because what would happen, right, is somebody would just yell, say something obnoxious, ask a question that is completely pointless.
You could pre-screen and have people that are like consistent callers only.
Yeah, maybe, right? People you trust. That's a good point.
Right.
So like it really came down to like I was uncomfortable asking him to, so I never did. I really wanted to, because I think it's super unfair that it's his post and we're really digging into him a lot. And regardless if it's not just his post, he represents what that post is. And I feel, and if I know him, he would take, even if it was about the marketing team, he would take it personally, right?
Right.
And I feel so shitty having this show without him being there to quote unquote defend himself.
Well,
you know what I mean?
You're putting I think you're actually putting more responsibility for this post on him than I am. But like, I feel
because
like,
I know how he takes our reactions. He would take them to heart.
Right.
It's not putting the responsibility on him. I know how he's probably watching right now and how he's reacting to it, and I feel guilty about it.
Right. Well, I feel like how many employees are they up to now? Like 600 or something? I feel like there's just so much going on spread out around the world throughout this company that having this one guy give us an update on everything that's going on is just unreasonable.
Yeah,
because I
agreed. I think having Lando for everything is not healthy. I think having Xylo for everything is not healthy. And I think like Xylo's team is growing. Like we see Molly and other people making posts, But yeah, like somebody in chat just said, "Where's Aaron?" The last time we heard from Aaron, we were getting quality of life updates for Star Citizen. Where are those? Right? So there's a lot of, the quality of life in the game is still pretty similar. Low frame rate, 30Ks, That's why I argue against this, Zio, with you, is like, you really don't want these guys on. But you do. It's a catch-22.
Yeah, we're all starved for the content. We want to see it, but at the same time, like, do you really?
Yeah. But just like about the Xylo thing, I feel like we would just bring him in for a fucking firing squad at this point. And I don't think we would get any more of a response than what we had in the post in the first place.
Yeah, 90% of the post was excuses, and like, I can't blame him for that because he probably didn't have anything else to put in here.
Listen, when things go wrong, there's reasons for why it goes wrong. I hate the word excuses, because the word excuses is a really negative thing. Things go wrong sometimes, and we all have excuses for why they happened. It's just, how will you learn from those excuses or those mistakes or whatever happened? How are you going to learn from it next time? Right? So I would really like to know going forward, hey, you heard from the community. We don't like your ideas for your solutions. How are you going to pivot? How are you going to change? Are you going to change? Or are you going to say, fuck it, we're going to do whatever we want to do, regardless of what you say? It can go many ways, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Like, I would like to see, personally, if they had, like, maybe not like a weekly update, but like, I want to see more like a stream. Like, if they had some guy that came on, they had like their own Twitch channel, they had one of their people, like it could be a community team member or a developer that just happens to enjoy streaming or something. Mm-hmm. He just come on and talk to people, answer questions in chat, just have a good time. Like RuneScape does this, and it's very popular. And like, just basically more community interaction, just live interaction with people. I don't have to necessarily give any new information out during that stream. It's just, it'll feel like it's just more involved. They could show some gameplay or whatever they have for that week, just anything.
It's because the game can't be played. The game isn't meant to be played. The game isn't meant to be showcased, is what it is. Not played. Obviously, it's meant to be played, but this is 100%. Like, do you think when you log into the game that when you purchase the game that the product there is a game or something that is meant to be played?
Oh, not yet. No.
Okay. I think that's what they think as well, and that's why they don't do that stuff. They've tried it a couple times, and it hasn't gone well.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be kind of awkward when you 30K on your own like promotional stream, right?
Yep. And not only 30K, but all you do, like, listen, the people who can play Star Citizen are the ones who know the workarounds, right? True. They're the only ones who can play Star Citizen and enjoy it. And yeah, that's not an experience that I'd want to share with too many people if I was a studio. So
yeah, I mean,
I agree with
they
you.
Have their their local
don't
server that they don't 30K from or whatever. Like they demonstrate all their like cinematic stuff on that or whatever, like all their CitizenCon videos. But like, yeah, I guess if they wanted to get into the actual universe, and I was talking more about like demonstrating some in-game Squadron 42 footage. I didn't necessarily mean like Star Citizen only.
That's why they did the vertical slice though, back in the day, because they know they can avoid spoilers. It's very controlled. Like Squadron 42 stuff, there's too many things to avoid. I think that's the biggest issue here. Is I think that they're really hyped about their story, and they don't want to like, we know nothing about the story. Still, 8 years, nothing about it really. That's
they
awesome.
don't have to show us the story though. They can actually go and just go to some random planet in Squadron 42, assuming you can do the same thing there, and just like show us the difference in gameplay of what they've developed so far, and just give us a little teaser, whatever.
What if the game isn't about gameplay? Did you ever think of that?
What if it's like a visual novel?
Not a visual novel per se, but the gameplay isn't the main part of it.
That would be awkward.
Probably what it's going to be.
It's supposed to be the appetizer for Squadron or for Star Citizen. I thought like that's kind of how I've always looked at it.
It's not a game without gameplay or anything. It's just what if the gameplay isn't that?
What if it's disappointing?
Great? Yeah, well, not disappointing, but what if it's not that great? What if the main draw for the game is that it's actually more like a movie rather than a game? What if the gameplay is secondary?
I mean, I could still enjoy that kind of playthrough, single player campaign type game.
I mean, think about, like, I don't know if you've ever played Wing Commander, how old you are or anything like that, but that's what Wing Commander was. Like Wing Commander, you played like very similar missions over and over again. The experiences weren't very different each time you played, but once you got to that trailer, or not the trailer, but like the cinematic, it was like, all right, popcorn, here we go. What's next? Yeah. And I think this is going to fall in that line. I don't think the gameplay is going to blow you away, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. I'm 31, by the way. I didn't play Wing Commander, but I played Freelancer, and I love that game. I played that multiple times through. Yeah,
and that was there weren't any real cutscenes in that, was there? I don't remember.
Not very good ones.
Yeah. It didn't, Wing Commander 3 was the first game ever to put live recorded cutscenes in a game. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Wing Commander 4 brought it up to the next level. Wing Commander 5 we don't talk about, but it was, that's what I think you should expect from a Squadron 42. Is if it's the spiritual successor to Wing Commander, the gameplay is actually secondary, and it's really about the story.
It's literally just getting you it's almost like a tutorial then. Basically.
Sort of, but it just gets you to the next part of the story. You suffer through the gameplay. You don't suffer through it because it's bad, but you're just trying to get to that next cutscene.
Yeah. I mean, I hope there are some challenging elements in the campaign. I hope it's not literally just like you can't go wrong. You're just watching a movie. But
of course, me too. But all right, man. I think we're gonna call the show here. So I really appreciate your call. I thank you for the kind words and everything. Is there anything else you want to add before I let you go on the Squadron 42 update?
I mean, quotation marks are really heavy there. But yeah, no, that's it.
Yeah. All right, man. Zio, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
Anytime, buddy. Anytime. Hope to see you soon. All right, guys. So that's going to do it. Another answer the call in the books. I thought this one was pretty awesome, and it really comes down to this. I think what I wanted to do with this show and what I expected from this show was that it would highlight the fact that nobody wants to know about the features you're working on for Squadron 42 necessarily. We just want to know, where does it stand? That's the update we need. It doesn't require tons of polish. Tell us where this thing stands, guys. We've invested a lot of money, time, and emotion into this game, and it's really important that you don't disrespect those things, and that post felt like that to us. And I think I speak for most of the community that we just want to know where it stands, and we want you to be honest with us. And with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you haven't yet, leave a like on the video if you're watching it on YouTube. If you're watching on Twitch, hit the follow button and subscribe for more content on Twitch and YouTube. And yeah, I'll see you next week for another Answer the Call. Hopefully we have a live build where we can bring on like the guys who are much more knowledgeable about things like the flight model, PvP. That's what I'm planning on for the future. So keep an eye out for that stuff. All right, guys, thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next week.